welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the Magician, Major Arcana number 1, which is the second card in the tarot deck and the Major Arcana. First, you got to look at the fact that the Magician holds all of the elements in his control. So we have the cups being water, the pentacles being earth, the sword being air, and the wand being fire. So this is the second step in the journey, and how fitting that it started with the Fool at point number 0, with all the potential in the world, stepping out into the unknown, leaving the ordinary world and believing in the call that has just happened. That the second step is understanding that we have all of the power to create whatever reality we want. So whatever this call is and whatever journey that we're on now, the Magician reminds us that we have the power to create the reality that we want. And a quote that I just did a different video on that really comes to mind here, which is why I want to do this now, is as above, so below. As within, so without. We hear in all the wisdom traditions, it's all throughout what the religions are trying to get at, what wisdom traditions are pointing to. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, speaking existence into reality with our words and with our thoughts. These are sort of like the wands and the sword, or like the words and the fires, that initiative, those thoughts, that passion. And we have at our disposal all of the elemental, all of the elements that we need to create, to alchemize whatever we want to materialize. It all begins within the mind, and that is the ultimate sort of turning point in the hero's journey. After the call is recognizing that the world that we want is not a question of, oh, I really hope it goes this way. It's actually thinking of it habitually most of the time, because you know that that is your wand. Your thoughts and your words are your magic wand that creates the reality that you are thinking about most of the time. The thing is that we are either using our magic wand of thought intentionally or haphazardly and unintentionally. So the invitation of the Magician is, at the very beginning of your journey, now that you have made that decision to step out into the unknown, kudos to you. The universe and life is now going to reward you. And the first step in this process is recognizing that you are the creator. So other books to pull from, you have a couple of my favorites. Think and Grow Rich is going to tell you, you don't grow rich or have the reality that you want without thinking about it first and creating that reality as vividly as you can within your mind. This is the very beginning of the journey. This is what you do to lay the foundation. So you create a castle in the sky, and then you get on your path to getting there. So that castle in the sky, the secret here is to mentally stand at the front of that castle, visualize what the door looks like, visualize what it feels like to open that door. And of course, this is a metaphor. This is whatever reality you want to create. You open that door and you walk in, and what is there to see? What do you feel? What emotions run through you as you experience? You see these 2 staircases going about and the chandelier in the middle, and you feel like you have a luxurious experience. What are you wearing? Are you wearing like loose linen robes? This is this like life of luxury that you're envisioning. Or are you envisioning, oh, I hope this doesn't happen. I hope that doesn't happen. I'm really afraid of this That will create that reality. And so it's a question of what are you thinking about most of the time. So the magician is this, okay, you are the creator. You have no one to blame but yourself for what your experience on this road ahead is. The fool steps out into the unknown, and he's about to find out what it is that he's going to encounter. So do you want to just kind of be surprised along the whole way? Or do you want to build that castle in the sky, and that yellow brick road that leads to Oz or leads to that castle in the sky? Yes, that's going to have, for example, you ask for courage, like the lion, the timid, the cowardly lion, and you're going to have experiences that are going to require you to recognize that you are courageous. But that means that in order to find out that you're courageous, you have to be faced with things that cause some fear to be triggered within you. And then you've got to find that courage within you. And then that was the castle in the sky that the lion had in his heart before the journey started. So, the scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the lion, they all had these intentions. They had all said, I really want to learn how, if I only had a brain, I really want to learn that the brain would be the sword or the intellect, I really I have all these things going for me, but this is the thing I really need to learn. That's my castle in the sky. And now I'm going to start out on the yellow brick road, and I'm going to have a very similar experience to Dorothy. You're not in Kansas anymore. You've left the ordinary world. So that's the Fool card. And now on your path, you're setting your intention. Okay, I want to be a brave lion. Okay, so for example, these are essentially the things that you create with your conscious mind, and then your subconscious mind, if it's a habit enough from your conscious mind, if it is repetitive enough, then the subconscious mind accepts that reality, creates that yellow brick road, and then gets you to the castle, in your mind, gets you to Oz to meet the wizard. And of course, you're going to find out that the wizard was you all along. You were the one that created it. It's not something outside of you. The Wizard of Oz kind of represents you giving away your power to something else, and let's say praying to something else to give you what you want. Or you can set the intention and then recognize along your journey, these are the things that I asked for. I asked to be more courageous, and I'm being faced with one of my greatest fears. And if I face this, I know that I can come out the other side knowing, wow, when I had my greatest fear confront me, I actually showed a lot of courage, and I have now concluded and come to the realization that I am courageous. So the castle in the sky was courage. And on the path along, if you are aware of what you are trying to learn, if you are aware of the journey that you're on, if you are intentionally setting on that path to learn something, you are going to recognize the synchronicities along the way and say, oh, wait a minute. This person told me just the thing that I thought about, and there's this synchronicity here that I'm recognizing. So you can either be on that path just kind of hoping for the best and not knowing what's going to be at the next turn, or you could recognize along the way those little synchronicities. Oh, this is what I asked for. Oh, this is not exactly what I really want to confront right now, but it's necessary in order to get to the point that I set the intention of wanting to get to. And so the magician early on in the deck reminds you, and I find this so fascinating. This really is something that you would think that at the end you realize, oh my gosh, I had the power in me the whole time. This is card number 2 that says, hey, before you even, get on step number 2 of your journey, recognize that you are the one that has at your disposal all the 4 elements that you need to create whatever material you need, to alchemize whatever material you need. You control the elements. you have the magic wand. Look at the infinity sign above his head, and look at this sort of confidence, and look at him pointing below and having the wand pointing above. As above, so below. And look at this sort of fertility. He can create all these things not by just luck, but there were seeds planted that eventually grew whatever the seed was capable of growing. And you have the grapes, like fertility and abundance. So you have this very empowered individual on step number 2 of the journey, which basically tells us that very early on we need to learn this if we're going to start taking our journeys intentionally and arriving at the castles that we have created in our sky that we're not surprised by. These are intentions that we have set. These are dreams that we have made into our reality. That's the intention behind this life. We don't necessarily just come here to stumble our way through and hope for the best. We came here to learn that we are powerful to create whatever reality we want. And so if what we want is not the thing that is most habitually in our mind most of the time, we have not recognized yet that we are the creators. We have not quite internalized the lesson contained within the Magician card. So the stepping out into the unknown and leaving the ordinary world behind, leaving Kansas behind, leaving the comforts of your home and landing in Oz or in this new world that you're a part of. The first step after you arrive is know that you are the creator. You are the one that is empowered with everything you need to create whatever experience on the external that you want. And that all begins with your internal world. So recognize the wand that you carry and use it wisely. Talk to you next time.